Anybody from coastal North Carolina to New England needs to be watching this storm very closely over the next 5 days. Hopefully it tracks out to sea, but the reality is that the air cone is too close to the United States for my comfort, so citizens need to be monitoring that very closely.
Watch this storm closely. Where have we heard that before? This advice from FEMA's chief for those living along the East Coast.
The latest forecast suggesting there is a chance at this point that Tropical Storm Jose could potentially make landfall anywhere from North Carolina's Outer Banks all the way north to Massachusetts. Meteorologist Chad Myers with us both. And as I was rightly corrected, I said that all hurricanes are women. Totally wrong. Not a fact. Don't know why I thought that. Did that used to be the case?
It did.
Before
they came up with the boy, girl name, it was okay to call it a she. Now it is an it. It is no gender at all. So Jose is not a boy. Irma was not a girl. They are just its out
All right.
There you go.
Thank you.
70 miles per hour, not a major hurricane. This is not developing the way that Irma did. Irma was down here in very warm water. This is slightly cooler water with a little bit more shear. So now we're still Tropical Storm Jose. But this thing has been in the water since Irma was in the water. And it's still spinning around in the Atlantic, hasn't made any landfall truly yet. Did a little bit more wind damage to Barbuda, like they need that. But it did miss, at least the eye of the storm did miss when it was a bigger storm. Now, the forecast is still for all the models to take it up the East Coast to the east of North Carolina. But we know how these models can go left and right. And over the past couple of days, the European model has been here, and then here, and then here, and now something like that. So getting closer, not making landfall yet as anything significant, but it's not impossible, and that is still in the cone. See that little loop? Tries to make a loop. Now, because the size of the blue dot here got smaller, the pressure went up too, so it's not as strong of a storm. Never in its forecast from the Hurricane Center will it be a major hurricane. Still a 90-mile-per-hour storm. The biggest threat to people right now would be in the water here trying to surf or whatever, swim. Huge swells off the East Coast, making huge rip currents. Those rip currents will just take you right out into the ocean, hundreds of yards. That's how big those waves will be. These will be West Coast waves along the East Coast. That also could cause more beach erosion. But there we go, not going out more than 5 days. This is still Wednesday of next week. Still, we'll see if it goes to the right. Does it go to the straight, which is still possible, or does it make that loop that the European model wants it to? I don't want to do anything except turn right and not ruin our entire Northeast week for next week, because it would be a storm that we would never have an idea whether it's Atlantic City, New York City, or Boston. That's the true case of it right now. No way to know, too many days away.
Which is why we're watching it so closely right
Absolutely.
now. Chad Myers, thanks so much. Appreciate it.